Hi everyone. In the last class, we have discussed in the real type 4 drivers are used to communicate with the Java application to the database. So driver management, we have the two packages. First one is the java.sql and next one is javax.sql. So today we will learn brief about the driver management. Okay, then we will write like what are the steps to follow to write the JDBC program. Then we will understand one by one program writing and understanding the JDBC. Like how many types of drivers are there? You can mention in the comment if you like. Four types, right? So, which type of driver application we use in the real time projects? So, type 4 are the pure Java drivers, and it is a fast and communicating with the database. Performance will be improved. But what is the downside? I mean, drawbacks of the Type 4 drivers. So, if the database is changed according to that, according to that, in your project or application you need to be change the database, right? So which is also called the database dependent. As I said, in the real time, once the database is fixed, application starts, then the database will not change. 99% it remains the same, so they will not change. For like for any new enhancement or implementation to service in the Java real time, they may use the another database. For the existing services, they won't change the database. Okay, so mostly this type of situation doesn't occur. Hope you got it. If it is really required in the real time application, then there is a way to change the drivers easily. Of course, in JDBC we cannot. In application, in our Java code, we can make the changes. But in the real time, we have to be separate kind of files. That is called the YAML files, YAML files. Okay, so those files contains the configuration. In the configuration file, just we are making the changes. If it is really required, it won't be a burden in our projects, right? So coming to the point, uh, what are the three key components of the JDBC technology as we have discussed? First one is JDBC API. So three key components. So first one, three key components is first one is nothing but the JDBC API. Okay, so JDBC API, and the second one is the driver manager, and third one is the driver, right? Driver manager, and third one is nothing but the driver. So these are the three key components. What is the JDBC API? Which is nothing but some classes and interface. Okay, and it has a two packages. First one is Java SQL, and the second one is Java X.SQL. So what is the driver? Okay, so drivers are the application. In the last class, we have already discussed. Once the application means one application consists many programs. Okay, maybe one Java program or multiple programs. We are called that application. Suppose if I'm writing a simple calculator application, I can finish it by writing one Java file. Also, this calculator application consists how many Java files? Only one Java file, right? For example, I'm creating a phone pay or Google Pay application. So do you think it will complete in one Java file? Of course not. No. So it contains a many Java files. Right. So in JDBC API, it contains the two packages. What are generally the package contains? Generally, like what a package contains, a group of classes and interfaces. Right. So they are unrelated or related. Point it is related. So we cannot say it is a unrelated. It is a related. JDBC API also provides a group of classes and interfaces for the developers. So because we are developer and we want to develop a Java application, okay, so we will write the program. We have to be communicate with the database. I told already, to write the Java program by using the programming language, we need the support of the predefined or pre-existing programs. I'm just recapping as I told the last class. Suppose if I write any program, even a simple program like a hello world program, without use of or without predefined string, I cannot write the program. Because if you're writing the public static void main string args, inside the parameters it has a string, right? And it's a predefined program. In JDBC also it consists of two packages, okay, a group of classes and interfaces, which helps to write the program and connects with the database. Now, so what is my question? Okay, so here my question is, what are the important classes and interfaces available in JDBC API that we have to be discussed? We will discuss now. So second key component is nothing but the driver management. Okay, so what is the second key component, which is nothing but the driver manager? So what is the second key component, driver manager, right? What it will do? It is one class. So what it will do? It will manage all the drivers which are loaded. Whenever we are writing the Java program, the connection between the Java to the database, what we require, it cannot directly connect it as a mediator, right? So it has a driver, which means the driver is going to be loaded. Where it will load? Whenever, like where it will load and where it will execute? In JVM. Okay, in JVM driver also loaded. So in JVM, my Java program connect with the driver. So driver will provide the connectivity with the database. So if I mention it, explain it through diagram, you can understand it. So here, so this is my JVM. Okay, so this is my JVM, and here let me take this. Um, so okay, so this is a Java program, and here this is JVM. So I call this as a Java program. Just assume this is my Java program in the JVM, and this is the driver. Okay, so they have the interconnection both. How my assume this is JVM and your Java virtual machine. Okay, so this is your Java virtual machine. So tell me, uh, into the JVM, what is going to be load whenever you run the program? Our dot class file. Okay, so dot class file will be loaded. Who will load the dot class file into the JVM, which is nothing but class loader. Okay, we have the class loader and like the application or the system class loaders, right? So we have three types of here it is. We have the three types of class loaders. So first one is nothing but a bootstrap class loader, extension class loader, and the application or the system class loader. But delegation goes to the application bootstrap. It's not that mandatory. Just I'm saying for the just to have a knowledge, it is fine. So this program and assume it loaded my program, loaded into the JVM. So my Java program nothing but class file. Okay, so my Java program will get the connectivity with the database. Okay, so assume this is a database. Okay, so here this. Okay, so this is my database and how it will get connected. We have to visit. So this is my database and the connection between my JVM, how the Java program will get communicate with the help of the driver to the database. Okay, so where am I? So this program and assume it's loaded. So my program loaded into the JVM. Okay, so my program is loaded into the JVM. My Java program nothing but the class file. Okay, so my Java program will get the connectivity with the database. So it is inside the JVM or outside the JVM. My database obviously outside outside the JVM. Okay, so we don't think my Java program cannot directly connect with the database. So we required how my Java program will get connect directly with the database. We need some help, right? What is the help we require? So we need the drivers. Okay, so which means driver is loaded into the JVM. Now driver will provide the connectivity between the Java program to the database. It must be loaded. And how many drivers can be loaded? Our program use one driver, but more than one driver is loaded. Here we did not get confusion between the types of drivers, which is four. Okay, so first one is like the databases we have Oracle, MySQL, Postgre and DB2. So all the database given there four types of drivers. So we have the number of drivers, it can be loaded one or multiple, right? Hope you understood. So who will manage all the drivers which are loaded into the JVM? Obviously the driver manager. Driver manager, just understand, driver manager is a class which is responsible for managing the drivers loaded in the JVM. Okay, and also based on the URL application. So our application will provide a URL. Okay, so what is the URL? It means uniform resource locator. So what it will do? It is nothing but address. Okay, so it contains the location or identification. So what does it identification means? Identifying the server or resource, locating the resource or location of the server. Okay, so it is like a server or resource. For example, for your better understanding, let me give this example. You and your friend both are from Mumbai. Okay, both are in Mumbai. You and your friend both are in Mumbai. Now you are communicating like in this way, like we have the Elite Institute and it is located at Hyderabad Housing Board. Or you will say like I learned this course in the Elite Institute from Vanitha, and faculty is Vanitha. So she is a trainer, works for the Elite Institute. Okay, which is in Housing Board in the Hyderabad city near Kalamandir or South India Shopping Mall. I'm just saying it randomly. It won't be exist in the Housing Board. If I'm saying I learned in the Elite Institute and the trainer is Vanita, so your friend doesn't know the location, right? So in Hyderabad city, where is it? It might be in Madhapur or JNTU or Housing Board. You don't know. So you are telling the complete information and location. Okay, so that is called URL. Similarly to the driver manager, we need to provide a Java application to the database URL. Okay, so based on the database URL, what the driver manager will do, it will pick up the appropriate driver to provide the connectivity between the Java program and database, right? So this, for any Java, like, let me ask this. So what Java program providing the driver manager? Obviously it is providing a database URL. Okay, now tell me this, what driver manager maintains? Driver which are loaded into the JVM, so one or more than one, right? So how the driver manager will become one among the others? Based on the database URL. So we have to get the connection, we have to be get the connection method in driver manager. I hope you got it. So driver manager is a class. Okay, it is a utility class. It is a predefined class given by the JDBC. It is responsible for managing the drivers which are loaded into the JVM. Okay, so tell me this one. How does the driver manager will pick up? Based on the URL. The Java program providing the driver manager will pick up the appropriate driver and provide the connectivity between the Java application to the database. Okay, so how to pass the URL to the driver manager? We have to call the method. What is the method? Method of it to get the URL method. So which method to get the connection at that time? Calling the get connection. So we also need to provide the database URL. So what it consists: username, password. So without username and password, connection cannot be established, right? So database is secure. So which method of driver manager of the class my Java program is going to call to provide the information? So which is nothing but the username, URL and password to get the connectivity. Okay, so we use the get connection. Hope you understood. So better I'll write in the notepad for the clear understanding. Okay, so driver manager is utility class, right? Driver manager is utility class from JDBC API. From JDBC API. What it will do? It will manage. It will manages the driver which are loaded into the JVM. So what it will do? JDBC API which manages drivers which are loaded into the JVM. Into the JVM, right? And the second point is, like, a Java program provides the database URL to the driver manager, and based on the URL, so let me just write it instead of saying a Java program. What it will provides? Java program provides a database URL to the driver manager, and based on the URL, it will pick up the appropriate driver, right? And based on the URL, it will pick up the appropriate driver. Pick up the appropriate driver and establish the connection with who? Database. And establish the connection with the database. Okay. So now a Java program has to call the get connection method of the driver manager class to pass the database URL, username, and password. So for that purpose, um, what it will call? It will call the get connection method, right? So let me just may write the notes here. So Java program has to call get connection, get connection method of driver manager class to pass the data URL and username and password. URL, username, and password. Okay, so most of the drivers we call it as a software or application. So okay, we can call application or we can call the software or the program. So it is all depends on our availability, right? So like, can you tell what is the antivirus? So you might heard of this, right? Antivirus like Kaspersky, McAfee. So all are the antivirus. Means you are downloading and installing the application. What this application contains a group of program, or you can say this collection of programs. Sometimes I may call the driver application or the driver software, which is both are same. So you can call it as application or driver or software. So these are nothing but same as per our convenient, so we can call it. In that there is a driver program. Okay, what it contains? It contains a many programs. Okay, so many programs are there. In that, one of the program is driver. I hope you will not get the confusion in drivers software or the driver program. So driver software or driver program both are same, but as per our convenience, we are calling them. So it contains a many program. In this many program, one of the program is driver program. Okay, so driver software means collection of programs. In that, one is driver program. So here you have to be understand this from one Java program. I cannot connect. We need to establish the multiple connections. So one connection to the Oracle and one connection to the MySQL and another connection to the PostgreSQL. So there are four important properties to get the connection with the database. So what are the four properties we have to be discussed now? So driver class name, how the driver software release in the form of jar. Jar is nothing but the Java archive. Okay, so we have already discussed in the class like Oracle. We have installed the Oracle. Okay, so I'll show you how you have to be see that. So here we have to be discussed like let me show you how the jar files, because there are four important properties to get the connection with the database. Okay, so we have the driver class name, first one. Okay, how the driver software release in the form of jar. So jar is nothing but the Java archive. We have already discussed this in the last class. Okay, Oracle, which we have already installed. So let me show this to you. Here when you open this files, okay, in the C, here it is in the C. You have to be open this app admin product 21C. So here if we don't know where the OJDBC jar file is, so you can simply type here OJDBC jar dot jar. Okay, So it is working. It will take some time to get it load. Here it comes. Okay. So what we have, OJDBC 11 and OJDBC dot 8 jar. Okay, so these are the two jar files. Okay, so we can use this OJDBC 11 dot jar or OJDBC 8 dot jar. Okay, so this jar is the driver application. Now, what this jar contains, the collection of classes, it means programs. Okay, if you have the Java, when you compile, dot class file will be created, right? So nothing but it is a group of programs or driver software that provided in the form of jars. Okay, in the driver software. So there is a driver class. What are the four connection properties to provide the connectivity between your program to database? Like we have the driver class name, database URL, a username, and password, right? So here we have already discussed. Let me just open this my file. Okay, so till now we have discussed here. OJDBC. Okay, the four connection properties. Okay, so first one is nothing but the driver class name, database URL, username, and the password. Right. Okay, so tell me what is the name of the driver software which is installed within the Oracle, OJDBC 11.jar or OJDBC 8.jar. Okay, what it is, the jar is a driver application or the driver software. Okay, so how this driver software provided into the form of the .exe files that we can double click and install it automatically, comes with the database in the form of the jar, right? So you tell me now, how the driver softwares are provided, driver application or software will be installed along with the database. So software in the form of the jar files. A jar file contains a group of programs or classes, right? So a Java programmer has to be know the four connection properties. Okay, driver class name and database URL, username, and password. Okay, so this one we have to be know here. So driver class name, database URL, username, and password. So these things we have to be know. And for example, to connect with the Oracle database, the connection properties are, first one is the driver class name, and here for this we have to be write the connection properties. The syntax is Oracle JDBC dot driver dot Oracle driver, right? And this is for the class name, and this here this is the driver class name you should know. And database URL syntax is JDBC colon Oracle colon thin at the rate host colon 1521 colon listener. Okay, so JDBC colon thin at the rate localhost 1521 colon XA. So here are the two things. Okay, there here are the two things. If we install the Express edition, then Oracle is the listener of the Enterprise edition. Okay, so we know already in the previous class which version we have installed, right? So we have installed the Express edition. If you have a doubt how to know, simply you have to go to the Windows and type here services here. So we don't know we have installed the Express edition or the Enterprise edition. On that time you have to be open these services, then here you can just come down. Okay, it is a Express edition or the Enterprise edition. How we have to be know, by this listener. Okay, so here you can see running which one. So this is the Oracle DB2 21, right? So Oracle, here you have to be see whenever so Oracle DB2 21 home. 2T 2TNS listener. Okay, so this is nothing but the open it and find out the Oracle listener. So this is the way that we have to be find out. Suppose XE is the listener for the Express edition and Oracle is the listener from the Enterprise edition. As we haven't installed the Enterprise edition because it takes the more data for in our laptop, it is like hard for to store all those data, so performance is very high. So for in our computers or in our laptops, we will prefer go to the Express edition. So for this Express edition listener that we have to be seen here, right? So hope you got this one, how to, if you if you give me your laptop, then uh, I'll go to the Windows, okay, to know what type of listener it is. Okay, so I'll go to the Windows and I'll type Windows run and I'll type the service to find out if the listener is XE, then the Express edition. If the listener is Oracle, then it might be a Enterprise edition. It is Enterprise edition. So this, hope you got these two things. Okay, driver class name and the driver URL. How to say, right? Now the third one is nothing but username and password. So username is at the time of installation we have given the name. Okay, so we have given the name system and password. I said I have given the tiger, and second time I have given the admin. So which you have given, you have to be remember that, because by default username is a system, password it is our wish that we can change it. And JDBC, so here what type of syntax we will write, JDBC colon, okay, jdbc JDBC colon thin colon at the rate localhost colon 151 colon XE is the listener, and 1521 is the code in every system, like it is a default one. Okay. If XE or Oracle is the listener, then by default it is a 1521. Presently, we are connecting which database? Oracle. For MySQL also the same driver, class name, URL, username, and password. Because we have Oracle, it is the same. By default, it is a 1521. And if you install the MySQL, then again the URL, username, and password is same. Okay, so driver class name, what is the driver class name also same thing, okay, which is nothing but com dot mysql dot cj. I have already wrote here, right? If I didn't wrote, so let me write it, so it won't be a confusion for us to understand it clearly. So here I will write for the JDBC. Okay, for the MySQL also, like a driver class name. For the MySQL driver class name, what is it? com dot com dot mysql, okay, mysql dot cj dot jdbc colon driver. Okay, so what is the cj? Cj is nothing but the connector for Java. Okay, and what is the date? Now here database URL is JDBC MySQL colon double slash host colon port slash database, and JDBC MySQL colon double slash localhost 3306 slash test. Okay, so what is this? Like I'm typing my value here. Like test is the name of the database, right? And 3306 is the port number of my SQL database, and username is root and password is root, that we have in the previous session we have given. Like it is not mandatory that we can use the root, but it depends on you. while installing the SQL. As last time I have installed, so I have keep it as it is same root. Username is root and password is root. So if it is required, then you can change it or you can keep it like this. So it depends on you. Okay, while installing the SQL, I will admin password so that we will be the, it is our wish that we can choose. For Oracle I gave admin, for SQL I have given the root. So you can give it a root or manager, hello, anything, whatever your wish, so you can give this. Okay, the how to, now let's discuss this. Okay, steps to write the JDBC program. So first one is nothing but the load the JDBC driver program, right? So first we have to be what is the JDBC program. The steps are here. First step is nothing but the load the JDBC driver, establish the connection, and create statement, which is nothing but object we need to create. And fourth one is execute the SQL queries, and the fifth one is process the result. Okay, so further process of printing in the console in the JDBC, we will do further operations. Once we got the print, once we got, we will print it. Okay, suppose if you are writing like a select star from EMP, what I will get, I'll get all the employees data. Okay, what I will do, print it, because we are in JDBC. If it is a servlet or JSP or Spring, then we will start doing some operation. In JDBC, we will just print. Okay, we have to see whether we got the employee data or not. Okay, so if we got the employee data, then it is I guess you have understood. Okay, how to process the result and how to visible the data, employees data. Okay, now it is very mandatory that the sixth step is closing the connection. Close the connection. To write the JDBC program, in any JDBC program, we need to be follow the same sixth step. Okay, closing the connection. From Java 8 onwards, first step is optional. What is that? Loading the JDBC driver is optional. Okay, from Java 8, the JDBC becomes the optional. Okay, before the Java, it's mandatory. In the second step, establish the connection. So, which class provided in the JDBC API? Driver manager, right? I told which driver of method we called get connection, and how many parameters we pass, what is the information that we will provide, three values. First one is database URL, username and password, so that we can get the connection. From Java 8, loading the JDBC driver becomes the optional. Suppose suppose if you want the, suppose if you want to load the driver explicitly, then you have to be called the static for name method, and it comes from the package of java.lang.class, right? And C, here you can see C is the capital. C lowercase is a keyword, and the C capital letter or uppercase. Okay, this one. So this is used to define the class name. So in which package? java.lang java.lang.class, and it contains the strings, java.lang dot strings, and also we have this package java.lang dot numbers. So there are so many things, right? So many exceptions, and we do have this arithmetic exceptions, null pointer exceptions, in which in which everything is in the all everything is in which package, java.lang, right? So how do you call this static methods? It is very important, and we have discussed in the earlier many classes, right? what's the purpose is what's the purpose of static method, like importance of creating this static method? First of all, in the method, what you will define, method is used to perform this specific task and return the result to the user, right? So can you define it for the variables? It is for variables, it is for storing the data. Variables is nothing but name given to the memory location. right? So it cannot do any task. Method can do the task. So it cannot do any task. So purpose is to store the data. Variables purpose is to store the data. Task means functionality, how to define the task by using some methods. And static method is used for like you can use the common functionalities, right? Instead of saying this common, so we can say a static method is used for shared functionality. Okay, so but better that we use shared functionality word, okay, across all the instances of the classes, instead of saying this common. Okay, shading the common functionalities, we can just say it as a shared functionality across all the instances of the class, right? And a static method is for, it is used for the method for name method. Okay, class dot for name. So can I call the static method with the object name? Yes, we can. So for name. Okay, so syntax is class dot for name. So what is the syntax here? Class dot for name, fully qualified driver class name. So this is the syntax. If you, so let me write it here so you can understand it better. Okay, class dot for name, like it is a fully qualified driver class name. Right. Okay, for example, so here let me just write this example so you can understand it better, how to use the static method with the object name, right? Here, for example, if I take the red color, okay, for example, class dot for name. So what is this? Oracle dot JDBC driver dot Oracle driver. This is how, like, we have to be writing our syntax. Oracle dot JDBC dot driver dot Oracle driver. Oracle driver. Okay, and second one is nothing but class. Second one is nothing but the establishing the connection, right? So establishing the connection. And the third one is to establish the connection, we have to be call a method. Call the get connection method of the driver manager class. Right, to establish the third, this is the third one. To establish the connection, we have to call a method. So which is nothing but the get connection method of the driver manager class, right? So I told the get the connection is a static method. And how do you call the static method? We need to call with the class name. Okay, driver manager dot class name. So whenever get the connection method, whenever get the connection method call the method will call your Java program. Okay, and what it provides, it provides the information of the, it provides the information to the driver manager. What is that first one? First one is database URL, username, password. So these are the three values. So we can return the connection, or we can establish the connection. So what happens, that connection objects we have to be stored it in the connection variables. For example, you're calling a method which returns the employee objects. Okay, let's store in the employee variable, right? Yes, it will store in the employee variable. Now you're calling a method called get employee returns employee object, then we have to be store it in the employee variable, right? So call get connection method. How you will define this? Call here like this, you have to be mentioned. call call get connection, call get connection method of the driver manager class. Right. So here, let me show you. So get connection is a static method. So let me just to understand it better. So I'll just write it here in the diagrammatic format. Here, get how to get the connection and the static method, how it returns the object. So we have to be store that object into the connection. How that we have to be see here. So here, where is this? Okay, class. So my class name is employee. Okay, employee and static employee. Which method? Get employee method. Get employee method, right? And here I'll write the logic something, and then I'll close it. So how do you call this get employee with the class name like employee? Okay, employee get employee method, because get employee is which method? Static method, right? So static method can be called by using directly class name employee. Okay, whenever you call get method employee, whenever you call the get employee method, so what it will return it, what is the return employee? Nothing but object, right? So it returns the object. You have to be understand this like how to call the get employee with the class name. Okay, suppose if I take this class name employee, class employee. Okay, for this class here, so you can understand class employee. Okay, so what we are using? Static double get employee method. Get employee method, and here I'll write some logic, and I'll close here. So for example, if it is a double, okay, okay, so let it be, or let me just, we don't require this one, I'll delete so we can understand it more better in the clear manner. Yes, so class employee static, we are using here double get employee method. Now for example, if it is a double, then whenever you call the get employee method, what it returns? Employee, or double the value. Like you have to be stored the result or value in the employee type or the double variable, right? So double variable, which type of driver manager? Like I'm asking to call the get connection method. Okay, so here what we have to do, we have to be call the get connection method. Okay, so what type of variable it is? Like employee type or double variable. So what it will do? Double variable, like which type of the driver manager? Get connection method. Here hope you got it, otherwise I'll write the another one. Okay, so class driver manager, so this is for the double. Let me write here class driver manager. Okay, so tell me the get connection in which method? The static method. If it is a static method, then how do you call the static method? By using the class name if it is a driver manager. Okay, so what is the method name? It is a get connection parameters, or URL, username, password. These are the three things. Okay, so what it returns? It returns the connection object. So you have to be store it where you have to be store it in the connection variable. Okay, so here let me write the another one. So to get the better understanding, okay, class driver manager, class driver manager static connection, get connection, get connection method. So what are the parameters? First one is URL and second one is username. User one and third one is nothing but the password, right? Password. So method parameters are three, and logic is there. So whatever the logic, so here it is the logic, and I'll close this. So what is it returns the object. So you have to be store it in the connection variable. So this thing I hope it is clear. Okay. Otherwise, if you want, I can write it here. So get connection is a static method which returns a connection object. Okay. Here you have to be understand get connection. Get connection. Get connection is a static method. Get connection is a static method. What it will do? It will returns the connection object. Okay. So is a static method okay which returns a connection object, which returns the connection object. So we have to be store that object into the connection variable. What we have to do, we have to be store that object into the, we have to, okay, store we have to store that object into the connection variable. Okay, and how we will write the syntax here? We have to be write first we will write the right side then left side. Okay, so to get the get connection method, okay, by using this url, username and password, three parameters, how to create the object with the connection statement. Okay, here let me just write it here. Seems to be good color. So connection. Okay, first I'll write the right side one. Driver manager, driver manager, get connection. Which method we are using? Get connection method. Get connection method. And what are the parameters? Three parameters. First one is URL. Okay, username, and the third one is nothing but the password. And so this is the right side of the statement, and left side. So connection, and what are the object I can create? So I'll create this connection con. Okay, connection, and my object is called driver manager. Okay, driver manager get connection. What are the three parameters? URL, username and the password. For example, connection call is equal to here, how to establish the connection in your program and database. Like what we have to do, we have to be execute the queries. Okay, so how you will write, for example, so let me just make it here, write it here. For, the right side first we have to be always right side, then it is in good enough for us to create the object. It is our wish. You can write it the whole word or you can just simply write conn. So let me write it here. Driver manager dot get connection, driver manager dot get connection. Here how we will write the, to get the connection, first we have to be write it to get the connection, we have to be use this syntax JDBC, JDBC colon Oracle colon thin colon at the rate localhost. Already we have written here, right? The same thing we are writing here. Localhost. Okay. Local host colon 1521 and colon x. And what is my username? System, right? My username is system, that you have to be put it in the double quotes. System. And what is my password? My password is tiger. Later I have changed it to the admin, so you have to write it here. Okay, so this is that way that we have to be establish the connection in between our Java program and database. So what is the next thing you have to do? We have to be execute the queries. Okay, to send your queries in the database, what we need one more object, right? Here I just wrote the right side, but what is here, I haven't wrote the object. So how you will create the object? Connection con is equal to connection con. In the while writing the manual, you will automatically get. So just you have to be remember this, because everything it will show suggestions. So we just use those suggestions, so it would be more easy for us. But we have to be aware of these things: how to establish the connection, how we have to be write the get connection method, and what are the parameters that we have to be use, that we have to be aware. Okay, so to send your queries to the database, we need one more object, right? So here, example, the road is ready. Between what and what, you need to be transfer the goods from Java to the database, and also from database to the Java. Goods means nothing but the queries. Okay, then now goods is nothing but the queries, and data or result. Suppose, so I'm transferring, select star from EMP. There, what it will send me back? All the employees data. If I mention this query select star from, what it will give me the result. Okay, and I'll get the result. So we need to be create the statement object. So because the statement object has a method to this, okay, to sending the queries and getting the result back to the Java application, right? Suppose who can do this task? Some methods will perform some task. So these methods will perform the task, and their the statement object, the code is ready. Which object I need to create? Statement object. Okay, now my connection is ready here. So this is the thing that we have to be real, we have to be understand. Okay, and tomorrow we will see like how the statement object, and how we have to be creating statement stmt. Okay, creating the object, and create statement method, how we have to be used. So we have to be see that in the tomorrow class. And first program that we will do it in the notepad. Okay, first program we will write it in the notepad, and then we use the eclipse. In the eclipse, first one two three, like three programs we will do without using maven. So Maven is nothing but the build tool. Okay, I'll teach you how to do that. Eclipse and STS is the same, but like it uses some Spring features, and it is nothing to be worried. Like so, it is very easy, and we can just go it further. And hope you understood till here. So now we have to be conclude like creating the statement, and call create this statement, how we have to be call this create statement methods, and instance methods, method of the connection object, so that it will create the statement object. In the right side, what we will do, like con dot create statement. Okay, and the left side, like we have to be write the statement, and object is stmt. So what it will return? it returns the statement object, right? So why are we creating this statement object? Because it has a capacity to send the SQL queries to whom? To the database, and get the result from the database. It will get results. So whenever we send the query, we will get the result to the Java application. Okay, so the interconnection between happen by using the queries, and we are getting the result back to the Java applications. So which object has this facility? Obviously statement object. But how do you create the statement object? With the help of STMT. So without connection, can you create this statement? Obviously no. So first connection is nothing but a statement. And so let me write it here so that you can understand it better instead of saying in the air. Okay, so in the right side, how to create this statement object. Okay, how to create this statement object. So what is the our create get connection object is con, right? CONN, con. So here first we have to be right, my object is con, then create statement, create statement method, create statement method. And this is the left side, and the right side. So what is the statement? And I'll create the object stmt. You can write the whole name, or you can make it a shortcut, anything is fine. So this is for the connection method, we got it. And how to use this statement method and how to use the create statement method we have understood. So this is the class for now, and tomorrow we will see further classes. Till now, I hope you have understood this. Okay, so thank you all.